All right, I call to order this regular scheduling meeting for the 34th Dearborn City Council for September 9th, 2025 at 7 p.m. I'd like to remind everyone in attendance to please just silence your cell phones and communication devices as to not disturb the meeting. Mr. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Councilmember Enos.
Here.
Councilmember Hammoud.
Here.
Councilmember Abraham.
Here.
Councilmember Paris.
Here.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Here.
Councilmember Herrick.
Here.
Council President Sereni.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, Mr. Clerk, can we have, oh, I'm sorry, I got it. It's roll call. At this time, I apologize. At this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Councilman Mustafa Hammoud.
Thank you. It's my honor to introduce Pastor Suzanne Todd from Dearborn First United Methodist Church, who will deliver tonight's invocation. I invite all who are able to please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
God of all peoples and nations, God of the citizen, the immigrant, the migrant, and the refugee, breathe your peace into the hearts of all people who are living in fear today, here in our city, in our country, and in the world. We especially lift up the people of Gaza who are under siege. We know that justice can only be found in you. Change hearts, change policies, bring peace, comfort, food, and hope to your people. We thank you for the day and for the many ways you bless this community. Give our community leaders wisdom to make decisions that enrich the lives of all residents. Create bonds across all the lines that differentiate us. Bind us together as one people in your holy care. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. All right, Mr. Clerk, can we have the first item of business?
Yes, item number 4, a resolution by Councilmember El Sawafi, supported unanimously, acknowledging Mike Aseli, Executive Director of Special Promotions for Dearborn Public Schools, for showing exceptional leadership and dedication in supporting students with special needs and ensuring all students have access to the resources they need to succeed, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The 34th Dearborn City Council would like to extend our full recognition to Mike Aseli, the Executive Director of Special Populations for Dearborn Public Schools. Mike's unwavering commitment to equity and education is not only evident just in words, but it's meaningful action throughout his policy. Through his inclusive leadership, he has created a team and a culture that delivers real academic results while also embracing the vital social and emotional needs of every single student. As a mentor, a coach, an advocate, and as a champion of fairness throughout the district, especially for the students with special needs, ensuring every child has opportunity and resources they need to thrive. We want to thank you for your remarkable leadership, your steadfast dedication, and lasting impact you make on students and families and the broader Dearborn community. Councilman El Sawafi, would you like to say a few words regarding that?
Yes, thank you, Council President. It's my honor to recognize Mike Aseli with the City Council citation. Mike has been a tireless advocate for students with special needs, English learners, and adult education. I've personally seen his dedication. When the city started the journey to build an all-inclusive playscape for children in Dearborn, Mike was there every step of the way, offering guidance and leadership. His impact has helped our schools reach new milestones, and more importantly, change lives for families across our community. Thank you, Mike.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Councilman El Sawafi, for bringing this forward. At this time, is there any questions or comments regarding it? Councilman Hammoud?
So I happen to have a bit of a personal connection to Mr. Aseli, so I think this is a great opportunity to recognize the hard work you've done throughout your career. So I was actually in one of the first classes that Mike Aseli taught when I was in middle school at Stout Middle School. So I still remember when he was a baby teacher and kind of nervous and getting on his legs. And he worked with Mr. Serrazio, my 7th grade teacher, who was also kind of a legend, if people remember Mr. Serrazio. I think it just goes to show, he's a person that comes from our community, and back then it was not so frequent that you'd find Arab American teachers at Dearborn Public Schools. So, he stepped up and was one of those people who paved the way for now. We have a very diverse school system that has all kinds of people. I think now he's the head of the special needs, is it department at the city, or
Executive-
sorry, at the school
Yeah.
system. So it's like throughout his whole career, he's always stood up for students who needed extra help, and he took on extra challenges by going that path. But I think today it shows his leadership and his perseverance in making those connections, helping the district get more on its feet as we continue to grow in size as a population of a city, and as the city school district continues to grow. So great job. You know, we look forward to continuing to see all the work that you're going to do for the city and for our community. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilman Hamwood. Any other questions or comments? All right, a unanimous roll shall be attached unless I hear any objection. Therefore, it will be attached. What we're going to do is have the council come down, Mr. Aseli. We're going to have you come up. We'll have the picture with the mayor, and then you can bring your family in as well. Okay? Mr. Clerk, would you like to join us? You got the camera?
I'm a Thunderbird, bro. What would you go to worry? You're like a real East Dearborner. I like stuff. I think you're here. You went to South? There's a reason why we get along.
So we'll get one, and then we'll have your family.
Yeah. Hey, where's the students first? I'm not shy. Can we get one with Glenn too?
All right, so you would like to be the family board, and Mr. Blake will be the sub-board. Anybody from the family that you'd like to be, that's a lot of people, but you guys all come on up. Get him in. Come on, especially the baby.
Auntie Diane, that's you too, get up. No, you have to. You're gonna be front and center. Wherever you are.
Yeah, wherever you want, just squeeze them in.
He's got to move.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take a couple, cheese. Okay, got everybody.
So wait, I'm sorry, but this citation is equally as mine as to my team. Can we get my team up here so we can take a picture, please? Without them, there isn't this. I understand that. Rose, that's you too. Come on. Y'all know
One more, dear, one more.
That was good. That's nice.
And then also think Amy needs to give you guys for the card.
For which
It's number 2, 2, 3.
This is not to be read.
The card is, he's gonna come up and talk with you.
Okay, give him, we'll pass him right when I pull it up, okay? All right, thank you very much again for that brief intermission. At this time, Mr. Clerk, we have the next item.
Next item is public comments.
All right, so the council rules were enacted on this term that allows for 30 minutes of public comment prior to business items to better serve our residents. The start time is 7:10. Just a quick reminder that everyone here in the audience, if you'd like to speak regarding city business, please fill out one of these comment cards. If you don't want to do that, that's not a problem. You just raise your hand, you'll be recognized. If you're here tonight to speak on an item that is before the council, we will ask that you remain until that item comes up, because that's the best time to speak on it, okay? So we will begin now. We have first is Kathleen Harrison. And just a kind reminder, just your name and address for the record, and then, ma'am, you can step forward, either podium you like, and just a kind reminder that there's a 3-minute limitation, and the clerk will let you know when there's 30 seconds remaining. You may begin, ma'am.
This is in
Just
regard,
your name and address for the
I'm
record.
sorry, Kathleen Harrison, 22530 Cherry Hill.
Yes.
This is in regard to street repair in front of our home. On January 31st, we noticed that there was a sinkhole starting out near the curb and going underneath Cherry Hill. I'm going to go fast. I have all these dates down, but I'm going to skip a lot of this in the interest of time. On April 3rd, and we called the city right away. They put a plate over it and a flashing light. And on April 3rd, my husband fell through up to his knees. So then we were in contact with Ben from engineering. And on April 28th, they came out and they made the repair. And it was a big ordeal. The city, the contractor that the city hired did an excellent job. Very pleased with that. They had to replace our water line, which was unforeseen, but the city workers came in, did that also. We're very pleased. All that was done in a timely manner. It's since then, getting the street repaired, that is our issue. And we've been in constant contact with Ben from engineering, with Sydney from engineering. I've contacted Silvio Davis. I went to the senior commission meeting, and also our son spoke to Tim Hawkins, who he's friends with, and he said that wasn't his department, which was okay, because then we found out at least we're talking to the right people, but we weren't getting any results. And we've had lots of promises. 4 or 5 times they've promised different dates that it would be done, and it's not been done. And the last date was August 25th. So, we're kind of frustrated at this point. So I got a hold of Ken Paris, and he came out and talked to me the other day and suggested that I come here and give you my concerns on why I think this needs to be taken care of. Because I understand that there are a lot of these areas around the city. I was told 600, which I think is shocking. But I have to voice my opinion for my own property. And so here are my concerns. This is in Cherry Hill, in front of our home. There's a 9-foot by 16-foot sinking patch. Every time, I'm going to read so that in the
You have
interest of
30
time.
seconds.
Oh dear. Every time a truck or a trailer goes over it, which is dozens of times a day, our whole house shakes. People who live in the area are now going around it into oncoming traffic to avoid it. If the repairs are not done before snowfall, plowing the street is going to bring a new issue as they go double wide down our street very fast in the early morning hours. The whole thing could come up. I'm concerned about our patch under this, our sewer repair and our water line that's under this, that's being pounded on all the time.
I'm sorry,
And
your
our
time has
neighbors are
expired.
asking us to do something about this since their homes are shaking as well.
All right, Ms. Harrison, thank you for your coming forward. You can stay up here. So we have our Director Hawkins here who's going to speak on it. So at this point, from what I gather, is that the repair was done from underground and the top hasn't been completed. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. Director Hawkins, do you have, I know we contract some of these, so can you speak on what's the process for this right now to be repaired?
So if
Just your name.
Tim Hawkins, I'm the Director of the Department of Public Works, for the City of Dearborn. If engineering is already aware of it, we have our contractor as of July 1st that started eminent contracting. You guys approved them.
Correct.
They're doing 10 repairs a day at a minimum. We also have just hired Deponio Contracting for another piece, and they have people that are available. We're looking at putting it back out to bid again to get more of the repairs completed. So
Okay, but at this time, which I understand, I'm sure she understands, that there was work had to be done prior to, from underneath, in order to get the repairs done and for it to be done properly. She indicated that she's happy with the repairs, and it's just the finish. So is the finish slated for this, before the end of this season? That's the
Yes.
key. Okay. So, Ms. Harrison, do you understand what's going on? It's just a contracting issue because they have to put you in line, but it will be done this year? And I do appreciate you recognizing that there might be some others in the neighborhood or the area, but I agree with you. Your issue is in front of your house.
And we're on a main thoroughfare,
No, I understand, but when did they do the repair underneath?
April 28th.
Okay. But at that time, we weren't doing, at April 28th, we had
July
not approved the
1st.
contract till July 1st, right? So we have our fiscal year and contract, so that's the issue, is that you wouldn't been able to get into right after July anyway, so we're now into September. So you do anticipate it will be done before
will be done.
before the close of the season? Okay.
Yes.
So,
Can I ask when the close of the season is?
yeah, you can have it as November.
December
isn't it?
1st.
Okay.
Oh, did they go through December on that? Pam?
And we may go longer depending on weather. We
Yeah,
have
depending.
enough, and if the contractors are willing to do it and it's above 28 degrees and rising, we can keep working.
Yeah. So it's just the process of getting your scheduled. That was the concern. When was, the 28th of April is when she was done from the underground?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And my house shakes dozens of times a day every time the trucks and things go over.
Yeah, I
And my
mean, like,
neighbors
I'm
as
very
well.
sorry to hear that, but I mean, there's no way, I mean, we can't, we have to have contracts in place to do the repairs, and, it does take some time to get the final repair done. And so, I mean, I don't think this is abnormal at all, do you?
No, it is not abnormal.
No.
We do try to expedite it as much as possible. But we've had over 70 water main breaks in the
Yes.
last 4 months. So all of those will be repairs that will be added after yours. But this is kind of what we run through. It's the secular event of the entire thing. So I am sorry. I apologize for any inconvenience, but it's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay, a main thoroughfare.
No, Ms. Harrison, I'm sorry that you don't feel that it's fast enough, but I mean, there is a process in order to do these repairs, whether it's on a main thoroughfare or not. I mean, we have to go through the process, and like I indicated, it wouldn't have been eligible till the contracts were in place for the next season, would be after July. So that's the best that we can do. That's the normal process of repairing roads that have damage that we have repaired underneath. Okay, I mean, I wish I could do more, and like give you some more insight, but I think at this point, we'll have to see and make sure that it gets done within that time frame. So Jackie, can you just log this, and Director, please make sure you alert the council once it is completed so we can make sure
Absolutely.
we're happy. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Okay, next we have, let me see here. She has beer and Indir? Yes, okay.
Respected council members, my name is Inder Dillon, and I live on Olmsted Street. My address is 22725 Olmsted Street. I work at Ford, and I actually had a document. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, it's being
I
distributed.
got 6 copies circulating, and you want to start the time or whatever, I guess. So the concern is that I've lived there more than 10 years on this Olmsted Street address, and I've always parked in front of my house. Just yesterday, the city came around and they put a no parking sign in front of my house. About 20% of my parking spot was taken. I drive a Super Duty, and my dad, he's old. He drives the car. He needs to go to hospital or whatnot, I guess. So my driveway is typically taken, and we use the parking spot in front of my house. So I have picked, so the issue is that somebody removed the sign that was on there, and page number 1 actually has where the old sign was, and now that red truck is where I park. They're putting the sign, and actually on page number 2 I have the old sign place, and then the new one that they actually put out this morning. We've been in front of the traffic commission several times. Andrea is my neighbor, she has an issue, and she's lived there longer than I am, and there's another person that was supposed to be here. She's pretty new, but she's gonna be here a little bit. So the concern is that they're taking away a lot of parking spot at this curb. There's 7 homes that don't have a parking spot up front. So it's a struggle already, and if you take another couple of spots away, it's only gonna make things harder. You can see, I mean, it's a wide open street. There's a hydrant across from my house, so nobody can park there anyways. It's a 32 feet long street. And then I have sketches from the engineering on this. I got a picture of the other side. Andrea might want to talk too. The issue actually started with the neighbor, and she's noticed ever since I got here, she's given me a hard time. And that's when, I mean, there's no accidents in the area. And there's other streets where people park on the curb. So, I mean, I have the sketches here that the engineering drew.
Okay, Mr. Jaber, thank you for all the information. I guess I'm trying to figure out what you're asking for. What's the?
So what I'm asking for is that the sign should be reinstated the way it was, and more spots shouldn't be taken. So right now, they're taking more spots, parking spots away. with
Okay,
the
so
new sign.
so they put okay, I understood that, but the sign was originally, it's been moved, is what you're saying?
It was moved yesterday. This morning, they were going to move it even further, taking more spots. And then I told them that I'm going to go in front of the council member today.
Okay,
And they didn't put any signs yet.
Okay, so let me see what the, Chief, this is your department, the signage, okay, Chief?
Good evening, East Michigan Police Chief. Good evening, Mr. Dillon, how are you?
Good
We
evening,
spoke
sir.
earlier today. So over the last 30 years, there have been no parking signs at various spots that have come up and come down, and it's hard to kind of track the history on where they were
Right.
over time. As you know, sometimes signs come up and come down, whether they're doing sewer replacement or street work. So a neighbor complained. It did go in front of the Traffic Commission, Councilman Paris, you'll be happy to hear that. The Traffic Commission pushed the issue to the police chief and left it open for my discretion, so we employed our engineering department.
How about
who-
that?
Yeah, I know. We employed our engineering department, who did a study. Did you guys have a chance to see this, if I can approach?
Yes,
Yes. In the packet?
of course, yeah, yes,
Okay, they
Chief.
did a pretty exhaustive engineering study, and based on the line of sight around that curve, the recommendation from our engineering department was that the signs go at the end of that cross-section. So I'm just following the recommendation of our engineering department. It's hard for cars to navigate, as you might imagine, around that corner. But the neighbor that complained, this wasn't a new complaint. Over the years, there's been signs that have come up and come down. So we're just reevaluating it and are trying to do it right. It's being driven by
right, so the-
public safety and objective data, Council President.
Thank you, Chief. So the rationale for this, because I don't know if it's been communicated to him, because it makes sense now. What the issue is that because he's on the curve, the line of sight is not visible for traffic ongoing and coming across.
That was explained, yes, sir.
And that's your rationale from putting those signs there so that they would be able to
Correct,
make
so
that
cars
curve.
can safely navigate the curve.
And Mr. Javer's point is that nobody crashed yet.
No,
Right.
and Andrea lived there longer. I mean, she wants to talk to.
I know, but your concern is that, I know whether she's been there longer, and I know her absolutely, there's no concern, but your argument is that there's been no accident, correct?
There's been no accident in 15 years I've lived there, yes.
Okay.
But
And
she's
did-
lived there longer.
I know, Mr.
Yeah, yeah.
Shaver, okay, so my concern is that, did you go to the Traffic Commission to voice your opinion? Were you notified about that?
So we've been in several traffic commissions. The fire marshal went through there. He didn't have any issues. Mike, I forgot his name, but anyhow, I mean, he didn't have any issue with the fire trucks going past my truck. And the curb ends before my driveway. Mine is the straight area, basically. But they're trying to take that spot away also.
Okay. Mayor?
I don't have anything in front of me, so I don't have anything. Is that no parking sign in front of your house right now?
There was yesterday, they
So
removed it.
currently,
They moved
for
it
many
further
years,
back.
Mayor, there's been my understanding, a sign that at the end of the shaded area on the west side that addresses traffic coming eastbound, but there isn't one theoretically that comes westbound or northbound on Olmsted. So that one was removed at some point. So we're re-putting both signs in to make it safe.
All right, but the plan, hang on, Mr. Shaver. So the plan is, what you had indicated, Chief, with this design, is to have these 4 signs on the corners to allow the traffic to flow on both sides?
Correct. So there'd be no parking in the shaded area, sir.
Okay. And then, Mr. Jaber, is this where the fire hydrant's at, you're indicating? On either
Yeah,
side?
right across from my house.
I know, but, so is it this one?
It's, if you look at the picture number 2, it's shown here.
No, all right. That's okay, that's okay. No, that's okay, don't worry.
Mr. Dillon lives at 22725.
1-8, it's in front of 1-8,
18 Olmsted? 22718 Olmsted?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, but that's out of the line of sight, that's not an issue.
see.
No, Mr. Dillon, it'd be across the street from you, so maybe 22724. He's
Yeah,
22725.
2-4, yeah, you're right, thank you, yes.
All right, so 22724 is where the hydrant's at. And that's already, they can't park
there to
there.
begin with,
Anyways,
correct.
right, and that's outside of the line of sight.
Well, it'd be in the shaded area still.
Correct, no, I understand.
Yes.
And, so your address was,
22725.
yeah, well, that's cut off, so is it the next one to 2272? No, that'd be on the other side, right?
Yeah, across the street.
Which one is yours on this that you provided?
It's this one here.
This house?
Yes, this is my house.
Okay, so this is your home? Yeah, right here. This is the same one, right? Oh, this is better. Yeah, okay, thank you. So your house right now, but you can park in front of your house?
Right now I can, but if the plan went
The
through.
plan
I
goes
wouldn't be
through,
able
the
to-
shaded area would be prohibited.
Okay, so we didn't have the shaded area on this
Yeah,
document.
yeah.
I apologize. So this document here that he provided
There's the
is
other
where they
one.
were previous?
There's 2 designs. There's this design from engineering, and there's the next page is the second design. That
Okay.
the chief provided.
Right, yes, and this is the one that has been...
That's the recommendation from our.
This is your
engineering
recommendation. So that means that he would not be able to park in the front of his house?
department. Correct.
Okay, in the previous, before they moved it, you could park in front, but not to the other side, correct?
Yeah, the other side was never a parking spot.
Okay,
Over the years, I would tell you that there were signs that prohibited in front of his house that had come down, so we had to reevaluate it and put the signs back up. This is not the first time there's been signs on either side of the street. We have
is that your
photo-
understanding, too? There has been change in the signs over the 15 years you've been there?
We have photographs, Council President, from the neighbor across the street that show his kids playing in the front yard with signs at some point that were there over the
No, I
years, 30
understand.
years ago.
Right.
Okay, no, I know.
Yeah, but I think my house was never no parking. It was before my driveway that the sign was there. I actually have pictures of number 2, or actually, number 1 is the old sign pictures. If you look at number 1, page number 1, and there's an arrow up here. This is where the sign was, right?
Okay.
That's my driveway,
No, I understand.
yeah.
All right.
And the sign wasn't there.
So let's get some, no, I understand. I appreciate, it's very thorough. The concern is that, the safety aspect, and as you know, the traffic safety has been one of the top concerns for our residents, and especially with, where you live, sometimes you go through phases, a lot of kids, not too many kids, and they come back more kids, so, and it's very concerning on that curve. So, I agree with the chief, and I understand that the commission that's empowered to do this also empower the chief to make the decision based on that line. In regards to the parking, you're saying that your driveway, it looks like it could fit several cars, but 3 or 4 or more? Your driveway?
Yeah, I have two personal cars, and usually I have an M plate.
Okay, but you also have a garage too for the, right, so you have several, so your concern is if you take that park away from you, you won't have enough parking spots, or?
Yes, that's true. Just the neighborhood wouldn't have enough parking spots. There's going to be 8 homes with no parking on that curb. And people typically speed, when you have no cars parked out there, they're going to speed through there. It's a 25-mile-per-hour zone, and they're going to go 50, 60 miles an hour through there.
Do you live there?
I do live on that street.
Yeah, I thought you lived on that street. All right, I want to hear from my colleagues. Mayor, you wanted to add something? I wanted to see what the colleagues say, because good? All right, from my colleagues, anybody have any questions? Councilman Hamud?
Kind of more of a comment, so.
That's fine.
I do happen to live up that street, and I actually tend to agree with the gentleman here, because I know this sounds counterintuitive, but it's one of those street calming measures that data would reflect, but doesn't, from your gut, sound right. Allowing more cars to park in that zone actually slows cars down, because impediments to a sight line actually force drivers to slow down. Now, there's two schools of thought on it. This is for the body, I suppose, so I'm just trying to give some information. Some traffic engineers would say clear the sight lines, which would allow a person driving to see children and things like that, which would theoretically improve safety. But then the other school of thought would say, well, when you clear the sight lines and make it really nice and open for people, they tend to zoom around because they can see everything and they're much more comfortable. It's like the whole thing where trees are actually traffic calming measures because they obstruct sight lines. So,
I think you just said it to trees, not cars.
well, both. No, believe it or not, it's both. Because essentially what cars parked on the side of the road enable you to do is like artificial lane narrowing. Short of us doing bike lanes and designated parking spots, it's kind of like one of those stopgap measures where in some cases allowing cars to park on curves actually does improve traffic safety because it forces cars to slow down. And one thing I can say is, as someone who lives there, I do frequently hear people come flying off of Outer Drive, and they really are going at speed. Now, hopefully people should stop at that stop sign by the church, but I can imagine, I've looked at a couple of other curves throughout the city that are kind of similar, and I don't really see no parking signs on them, so I do tend to empathize if, I happen to also drive experimental vehicles separate from my personal vehicle when I was a younger engineer, and sometimes you do need some additional space to park your vehicle. So, like I said, I'll leave it for the body. I'm kind of in the middle. I don't want to override the traffic commission recommendation, but I think there is some merit to the gentleman's argument in my opinion. That.
All right, thank you, Councilman Abu. Chief, for me, before I open it to any of my other colleagues, for me, I mean, I think the biggest concern is, to me, I don't see how you could park on the curb. I mean, the cars are not bent, and it's almost impossible not to stick out. I see the merit of where the signs were before. So if there's some type of compromise for myself personally, when I look at this and I could see where they were before, if that's what the circle was, it allows still for his house right in front of is the straightaway, the other house is the straightaway. The curb, though, I don't agree with parking on the curb myself at all, because the car doesn't, bend to the shape of the curb, and there's nobody that's going to get it that close. So, I understand that the chief's prerogative as far as, and which has been delegated by this body for this purpose, for the chief. Chief, go ahead.
So, Council President, I followed the recommendation that was provided by Engineering Department. With that being said, I'm willing to, prior to our next council meeting, reevaluate it and look at it and see if there's not something that can be done to maybe make.
Right, no, and Chief,
I'm willing to look for compromise.
Yeah, I don't have no problem with the engineering department, but I mean,
I'm
like I
at a
said-
disadvantage because I don't have those documents. I don't know necessarily where the signs were previously. My
Right.
understanding is they might have been where they are today.
Right. Well, my concern though, Chief, if you can look at it, and I want to hear if there's anybody else, but for me, and I love, engineers, I have a good relationship with some engineers, but I can tell you that they, what's theoretical and what's true and real is two different things. So for me, Chief, I don't have a problem. I see what you're saying. I mean, theoretically, this would be the right, correct answer, but I don't see any reason why a few feet ahead, the curb, absolutely not, and then on the other side. We can always, I think everybody would agree that we could argue, or logically people would agree that you could argue that the trees or the cars will slow down, or that they don't. I would say that's two schools of thought, and both could be correct. So, right. I mean, for me, I would be in favor of reducing this down to, which I'll show you, the circles that were before, which is the curve, to allow some. Yeah, it's just one house on all sides.
I'll take a look at it, sir.
If you don't mind, and then we'll make sure that we get your information, Jackie, so we can respond back, Chief, when you make your final decision. Councilman Paris.
Thank you, Council President. If I may, knowing about the function of the Traffic Commission and what your role is on that, in due respect for you coming forward and your neighbor too, I don't know if she might want to put any more information out about this.
Yeah, I'll direct you once you're done.
But
Yeah.
what I'd like to say, though, is having served on the Traffic Commission myself in the past, that you had the opportunity to go before the Traffic Commission. These are people that have the duties of the Traffic Commission to come up with recommendations and due consideration for the people, number one, that are asking for something like this, or if a decision is made because of engineering and by the thoughts of the police chief to do something like this, bringing it forward to the Traffic Commission for independent people, the 7-member or 6-member body, to do what they think is appropriate and come out with a recommendation that they provide to the chief of police. And he has a period of time all the way up to 365 days to make that decision whether to implement it or not. So sometimes there is a test period, and I know the chief has already mentioned he's going to go back and take a look at it and reevaluate it. But to me, that seems the role of the Traffic Commission and the Chief of Police is working together to try to resolve a problem. And if it is something that can be done otherwise, it's gone its route through the Traffic Commission to the Chief of Police, and he's coming forward with that recommendation.
Just for clarity, though, Councilman Pierce, this did go in front of the Traffic
Yeah.
Commission. and
Yeah,
there
that's what I'm
was-
saying, he
There
had
was
that
opposing
chance.
viewpoints, my understanding, at the Traffic
Right.
Commission, so they pushed it to the chief's office.
Yeah, and what I will say too is, just recently too, we had the, on Prospect, a similar situation,
Yeah.
but it was much more of a curve.
Yeah, right.
Off of Prospect and Greenfield, and
Yeah.
those signs were brought forward, and it was really obvious, much more than this, but really obvious that there was a need for those signs around a curve. So I appreciate the role of the chief and what the Traffic Commission has done also. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Pierce. Thank you very much for bringing this forward. And then, ma'am, did you want to speak? Yes, if you'd like to come forward, we'll let her complete. So we're going to get give the chief some more time to evaluate if we can shrink it back, the one house on each side.
Mr. Dillon, if it's agreeable, by the end of the week, I'll come out to your house, we'll take a look at it together, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you, Councilman.
I appreciate you for coming forward.
Hi, everybody. I've lived in Dearborn since I was born at Oakland. My name is Andrea Hackett, 22742 Olmsted Street. I've lived on the curve for 34 years. My house has no parking in front. It's fine. I've got a really long driveway. Ask me after I'm done shoveling how long it is. I don't mind it.
At least you shovel it. Yeah, that's
Where
good.
this issue touches me is deeply about Dearborn and how it's changed over the years, and I'm proud of that. What I'm not proud of are the reasons behind the complaints and the origin of these complaints. I was aware and listening to the signs being removed at night by drunken individuals who, at that time, it behooved them to be able to park wherever they wanted on the curve. It wasn't any engineering or, I can't read my writing because my eyes are getting old, but it wasn't any city people that removed those signs. It was contractors with good equipment out in the middle of the night being vigilantes, ha ha ha. Now one lives on my side of the street, which is directly across. She's having trouble backing out. That's how this whole thing started. And unfortunately, there's a racial component to this. And there just is. I've heard comments, he should go back to his own country. It makes me sick. When I saw what happened at the last meeting, Leslie, you were there, I was absolutely disgusted. It seemed like there was some backdoor handling going on. I found out some sort of petition went through the neighborhood with signatures. No one came to my door asking me if I was for or against the parking. I went to Dearborn High, and everyone knows about the Highland curve. There was parking allowed on Highland my whole life, and then it went to permit parking. You go over to Springwell subdivision, and there's cul-de-sacs, and people are allowed to park on those cul-de-sacs with Cadillac Escalades, like on Carlton Lane, for example, and people are doing just fine going slow. I had 4 children. I was a trauma nurse. I took care of kids that had Rams truck, embedded on their heads from cars flying. As a parent, as a nurse, as a citizen, I want cars to be able to park in front of those houses to slow these vehicles down. They open up. It's motorpeds, it's trucks, it's cars, and I'm up quite a bit, and I hear them just go vroom and really open it up. The reason the guy that came out for the sign today couldn't find the post is because of the ex-contractor that removed it, who's also now
Do you have
deceased.
30 seconds?
So I'm just asking you guys to please review this information given to you, because this is a safety issue, and we do have babies, thank goodness, coming back on the curve. Used to be in the water. Everybody had babies all over, Leslie remembers. But that's coming back. And it's about safety, and it's about fairness, and I don't like what's happening with my neighbor Hinder. and I don't like the tone, okay? And that's definitely what's going on. Okay?
Time
Well,
has
thank,
expired.
well, thank you so much for coming forward, and we'll definitely make sure, I have full confidence in the chief of getting it through, and we'll make sure we'll get a report back.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we do have a few more comment cards. At this time, we have Andrea.
That was Andrea.
Oh, okay, that was a separate one? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know he had your name on the card. I'm sorry, I missed it. All right,
Mr.
we have...
President, we're at our 30 minutes.
No, okay, at this time, I'd like to suspend the rules to get these last two. Is anybody, can we have a motion?
Motion.
Okay, motion by Councilman Paris, support by Councilman Enos. Any objection, unanimous roll? Okay, unanimous roll should be attached to suspend the rules. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We'll extend the time. We have two more cards. Salsa? Salsa? No? Okay. Mr. Ted Barham. Oh, I'm sorry, sir, did you?
I didn't fill out a card.
Okay, we'll get you right after the next person, okay, sir? Mr. Barham?
Hello, yeah. I would like to talk about the fact that
Mr. Barham, just your name.
Oh.
Please, yeah, thank you.
Sorry, I always forget. Okay. Ted Barham, Dearborn resident. And I'd like to talk about how two intersections have been named after Mr. Omar Siblani. Oh, I apologize. Okay, start again. I want to talk about how two intersections have been named after Mr. Osama Siblani. I just know him by his last name. Sorry about that. Okay, and so I'm sure he's done a lot of good things for the community, starting the Arab American News. But one thing I'm very concerned about, which I think a lot of people in Dearborn would be concerned about, I mean, I could just read his direct quotations. I'll read a couple of them. These are from 2022. So, yeah, he talks about how
Can you tell
the
us what
blood-
the issue is?
Yeah,
Before you
Councilman
start
Abraham.
reading things, can you just tell us what your concern is?
Yeah,
Councilman
my concern is he's a promoter of Hezbollah and Hamas. And,
Okay,
and then,
Mr. Barham?
Yeah.
And Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you, Councilman Abraham, but your point, you're free to address your point, which I just wanted to make sure you're aware. The sign that was placed in that area is a county road and was done by the Wayne County Executive. It's not under control of the city, Dearborn or City Council. Mayor, is that correct?
Repeat that, I'm so sorry.
The sign that was placed is placed on Warren Avenue, which is a county road, and that was done by the county.
Wayne County did it, it's a symbolic placement.
Yeah.
It's not a-
The county did it, so they do have, we can get you the list of their meeting, and you could go there and speak to the county commissioners, but we did not have the authority to overrule that or to suspend it. So I wanted to make sure you knew that. So the Wayne
That's
County
fine.
Commission is the one that approved that, it's the road of the county, and they're the one that placed it up there.
yes, that's fine, and I did understand that. But I know that there were people in this room who were there at the, at the ceremony for putting those signs up. And also, it's in Dearborn, so I'm just speaking as a Dearbornite. There's lots of quotes, but just a couple of quotes here. He talks about how the blood of the martyrs, I'm quoting, irrigates the land of Palestine. And then further quotes, he talks about how the terrorists should strike them with knives and with their bare hands, and they're victorious. And he also encourages the use of rockets over there. And then another quote from 2022, "We are the Arabs who are going to lift Palestinians all the way to victory, whether we are in Michigan and whether we are in Jenin." So the reason why I mentioned this is that it sounds like he could be inciting violence in Michigan. Believe me, I'm continuing the quotation. He says, believe me.
He's not. I just want to be clear. He can speak for himself.
Well, this is
I'm
speaking
just
for
gonna, I'm
himself.
gonna stop you because he's not a violent person. And you can interpret his words any way you want, but I will guarantee you he is not intending to incite violence. anywhere in the world.
Thank you, Councilman
And he could
Abraham.
defend himself if he were here, but
Sure.
we're not going to allow personal attacks in our community.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm just reading his words here.
That's fine, but
They
you're
seem very-
interpreting his words after you read them. He did not use the word violence, did he?
Well, may I continue the rest of the quote?
Well, if you say you want to read them, you can read them. If you want to interpret and give your own opinion of what he's thinking, that's a different story.
Okay. Sure, I mean, I'd love to discuss this. I just want to finish the quote because there's more. Okay, I'll continue. Whether we are in Michigan and whether we are in Jenin, believe me, everyone should fight within his means. They will fight with stones, others will fight with guns, others will fight with planes, drones, and rockets. Others will fight with their voices, and others will fight with their hands and say, "Free, free Palestine." So I just find it very concerning. Did my 3 minutes include
Yeah,
other
no,
people's
no,
words
that's
as well?
okay. There was some dialogue, but
Yeah.
as the councilman indicated, and just, we wanted to make sure you be careful, when you're talking about incitement or riot, there's legal terminations for that. There's legal precedent for that, and that's what the councilman has indicated, that you're drawing a conclusion that you have the right to draw. But as I indicated, the sign was placed from the county in that location. So, did you have anything else you'd like to speak on?
Well, it seems very provocative to have those signs up there. I mean, I also appreciate how he has helped to people to sympathize with, the people of Palestine, people of Lebanon. As you know, I've lived in Lebanon. I also lived in Israel. I've stayed for several weeks in Palestine. And I feel like, but despite that, I feel like having that sign up there, it's almost like having, naming a street, Hezbollah Street or Hamas Street. I mean, Hezbollah, bombed the embassy in Beirut, and including many Americans. So I just feel that's quite inappropriate. And as a Christian, I would like to encourage peace. I'm not just being like, pro-Israel in this and, fight back and that sort of thing. But I would like to encourage peace and not violence. Actually, I'd like to quote from the words of someone who had the same enemy. It was Jewish people who killed Jesus. He was Jewish, but his fellow Jewish people killed him. And he said, the one who lives by the sword will die by the sword. And what I would like to encourage on the other side is peace. He is called the Prince of Peace, and he said, blessed are the peacemakers. And his death at the hands of Jewish people opens the door to peace between Jewish and non-Jewish people. So that's what I would like to actively try to encourage to you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Barham. Sir, if you'd like to step forward.
I think the only comment I'm going to make, 'cause I'm not
Mayor?
looking for a rebuttal, is the best suggestion I have for you is to not drive on Warren Avenue, or to close your eyes while you're doing it. His name is up there, and I spoke at a ceremony celebrating it because he's done a lot for this community. And I think it's quite hypocritical to know that you're approaching this podium when you yourself have videos on YouTube standing in front of my mosque saying the cruelest of things about Muslims, about the religion of Islam, because you are a bigot, and you are a racist, and you are an Islamophobe. And although you live here, I want you to know as mayor, you are not welcome here. And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city. Because you are not somebody who believes in coexistence. You're somebody who tries to preach it, but in fact you do everything but that. So I just want to put that on the record.
Okay. Mr. Clerk, I know that you're back on the mic. 1 second. Sir, yes, go ahead. State your name and address for the...
God bless you, Mayor. God bless you, sir. I think
Thank you.
also say that I'm an apostate, I'm going to hell, based on the videos that you've dropped. So if I were you, I'd sit silently.
Okay. Thank you. We don't want to have any outbursts. Mr. Barham, thanks for your comments. And, sir, name and address for the record.
Good afternoon. My name's Eric Knight. I live at 3453 Chestnut Street, along with my wife. And I just wanted to talk about property taxes for senior citizens. This is my first time ever to a council meeting. I just recently retired, lifetime Dearborn resident. So our home, it's 2,600 square foot, 5 bedrooms, big family room, in-ground pool. We raised 6 kids there, and they're all grown. So the house is way too big for us, right? I'm not complaining about my property taxes, they're only $4,000 a year, because I believe that's the Headley Amendment. We would like to downsize into a smaller house, but if I sold our house right now for $500,000 and I bought a $300,000 house, my property tax would go from $4,000 to $7,000 a year, right? And the only reason I'm here is it just seems to me that something could be done. It would be a win-win situation for everybody. I could sell my house, put a couple $100,000 in my pocket. There's a big shortage of houses. There's hundreds of young couples out there that would love to buy a 5-bedroom house. So there would be a house available for a young couple. And the city would put an extra $8,000 a year in property taxes into the city finances because the house would reset. So I just wanted to say that it seems like something could be done to, there's a lot of retirees like me and my wife out there with big houses, empty, and, to move them. That's the only reason I'm here.
Well, thank you for coming forward. First of all, congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you.
Congratulations on all the kids doing well and grown. I appreciate you bringing this forward. It's great points, but I do want to make sure we give the information to the residents properly so you know. First of all, the taxes that you pay, the mayor has worked tremendously hard to show on the tax bill. And I'm glad your taxes are low, but that's the advantage of
I'm not
the head.
complaining about
No,
it.
I know you're not. I wouldn't complain about it if I were you. But I know you're not. But my point is, when you say the city get an extra $4,000, if you look at the bill, it's approximately, Mayor, a third or so comes to the city, the rest goes to the county, the schools, and so on and so forth. And the bill says it there. And I agree with you, because to me, what's the difference? And this is the argument for somebody whose kids are no longer in school. Why am I still paying school taxes, right? No, I'm not saying you are. What I'm saying is it's the same line of thought, right? If I move out of my house or you move out of your house, the same services are given, but it's uncapped. That's the state legislature, and they're the ones who imposed this law years ago. And it works good and bad, right? And I agree with you. It's done in California, and that's why you'll see in a lot of properties in California where they never sell the home because of the taxes. They turn around and do 50-year leases and so on and so forth because of the situation with the property taxes. And we're going to end up being that way at some point with the state because of the fact that they can't raise it more than 5%, right? So that's why you're at where you're at. And when I moved to my house, they went up. The person who bought my house, even though the service was the same, paid more than I did. It becomes uncapped. So that's the state law right now at this time. It's not to discourage you from downsizing and staying in Dearborn or anything. And you're absolutely right, theoretically. But remember, the reverse aspect was that if they would go the other route, your taxes today would have probably been $8,000 or $9,000 for you, as opposed to for someone else. So it's a tough situation because it is state mandated. But we do appreciate you being here, raising all your kids here, and staying here. And
great town.
Great
Love it
town.
here.
Thank you so much. I want my colleagues, Councilman Hammoud, anyone have some? Councilman Hammoud first. Yeah.
So I've had this exact same conversation with my father and with Councilman Abraham, actually. So I hope you don't mind if I mention that. But so we've talked about this exact issue, and kind of just to summarize the point, it's like Council President Sereni said, it's very much within the state law, unfortunately. I mean, we have Constitution of the State of Michigan.
It was voted on by the residents of the state of Michigan, and so to change it would require an amendment to the Constitution of the state of Michigan.
Yeah, and I think that goes back, Mayor, if I'm wrong, Councilman, I apologize, but to piggyback back to when Engler changed the sales tax and so on, and to lower the property tax from
the early 90s.
Yeah, from 4 to 6, and we're going to lower your property taxes, and so there's a lot of trade-offs. But Councilman, I apologize.
Yeah, no. So just to summarize, like, you're not alone, and a lot of people feel the way you do. But and we have certain things we do to try and help seniors out. But you're kind of in that opposite situation where it's like you said. I mean, I'm one of those younger people, and all my friends are those younger people. I'm only 31, and I want to start a family on Olmsted Street. The people are here, and it's like, yeah, I pay more in property taxes than you do for half the house, and it kind of is what it is, and so do all my friends. But it's kind of like it's the state of Michigan, and we're blessed not to be California, is what I'll say. So
California does 1%.
sorry about that, but I appreciate your thoughts.
I just wanted to bring it
Yeah.
up. You know, I mean,
No, it's a very good point. A very good point, and I think we've had those conversations, but I was unaware. I'm glad that with the mayor's expertise in the state, that it's in the Constitution.
It's the affordable housing crisis. So
Yeah.
since COVID, home values in Dearborn have gone up 60%. And so that is what is contributing to the property tax predicament we're in. So although the tax rate is down 16, 17%, what you used to buy, you know, for 100,000, you're not paying 250,000 for.
Right.
And so you're paying a lower tax rate on a higher priced product. And that's why you're ending up with a higher tax bill. The only way to counteract it is to have a larger housing supply enter the market to kind of bring prices down, but you'll never bring them down to what they once were. And so we certainly have a shortage of homes because Dearborn is growing fast, and we're hoping that we have some new housing development coming up, which will hopefully bring prices down to a little bit more reasonable. You know, I don't know if we'll get back to the 100 a square foot days, 130 square foot days, but maybe exit the 210, 220 square foot days down to the mid 100s would be great.
We'll be lucky if we can stabilize it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for your
Yeah,
comment.
I feel bad for all these kids that are looking for houses
Yeah.
right now. I mean, they're just not out there.
Correct.
As soon as they go up for sale, they're gone, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Especially with the interest rates too.
Thank you. But don't forget too, when you purchased your house, probably, you know, your parents or the people before said, I can't believe you were paying what you paid for those houses,
Yeah.
right? They were $28,000 then, right? So it's the way we
When I
go.
bought my house, interest rates were 17%.
But yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
people forget the 20-year
We gotta tell them
average.
that.
The 20-year average is
Thank you.
5%.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Anyone else here to address the council regarding city business that's not on the agenda? Step forward. Okay, this will be the final one. We have to get to the council agenda. No, that's fine. Thank you.
Good evening, Rebecca Herman, Assistant Director for Programs and Services for the Dearborn Public Library. September is Library Card Sign-Up Month, so if you do not have your library card yet, we love you anyway, but please come in and get your library card. We have a lot of great services, both available in person and available 24/7 through our website, so you can download books, movies, magazines, and do those all with your Dearborn library card, and you're already paying for it. As we were just discussing taxes, don't lose out because you're already paying for this card. I also want to talk about, this is our new programming quarter, so we have our fall program guides that are available on both sides of the chamber here and available at all the libraries. Some important things to say is that we have story times 3 times a week for children of all ages. If you go to the Bryant branch, we have a family story time. We have a baby story time for starting at 6 months old, that's at Centennial. We also have our family story time on Thursdays. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, there are story times for all ages. We encourage, parents to come see those. Right now, programming is suspended at Esper because we are getting ready to go through a great and terrific renovation for that building, and we're looking forward to when we come out the other side of that and the great offerings that will be in our new STEAM Center at Esper Library. I also want to actually read a little bit of a letter that we received from a patron complimenting some of our staff members. And it is from Paul and Mary Vertrees, who are former Dearborn residents, now living in Northville, but coming back with their grandchildren to the library. Dear Mrs. Herman, it is with warm and heartfelt gratitude that we express how grateful we are to the Henry Ford Centennial Library for its exemplary staff, program offerings, books, book sales, community arts displays, seeds to grow, and especially the welcoming staff who provide a library place for kids that promotes a love of being and learning at the library. Books, CDs, experiential toys, spaces to play, etc., are certainly the foundation of a library, but the people who deliver the activities and community of the library are what gives the library its soul. And let me say that the Dearborn Centennial Library presents an experience that our family and grandchildren would say we could not ask for more. She goes into, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, about coming to the library not knowing that there was a program and not having signed up for it. And our youth librarian, Lindsay Colt, was able to find space for her grandchildren while she's passing out pots, passing out paints, answering questions from children and parents. But we're able to accommodate this family and make a space for them so that they could join in the activity. Miss Lindsay has continued to be a bright spot in the library with her projects and always, always welcoming and adapts to the needs of the group. Thank you to everyone who supports these projects and all of the wonderful activities presented by your library. A wonderful place with wonderful spaces and wonderful people in the kids area who foster everything a library should sometimes be, with a lot of busy children in the library. We met and spent time with many regular parents and children who are active and regular visitors to Henry Ford Centennial Library. The above is just a small window of what we have enjoyed and have been so impressed with in regard to the Henry Ford Centennial Library. Let me say that both my husband and I grew up in Dearborn and were active patrons of the original beloved Dearborn Library on Michigan Avenue, Bryant. While now living in Northville, we and/or our grandchildren have enjoyed our library and many surrounding libraries in Redford, Plymouth, Farmington. What is better than a library? So we say with all the other experiences to reference, Henry Ford Centennial Library is one of the best, and in the best terms of a library community that clearly and truly invites you in. I commented to my husband when we started coming here a few months ago about once a week. I said, we don't want to tell too many people about this. It will get too crowded. But we did the right thing, and we have shared our experiences.
Thank you. It's excellent.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
And I
your.
will pass this to Jackie.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Thank you so much for bringing that forward.
Congratulations, what a nice letter.
Yep. All right, at this point, we are going to close the public comment. There is another public comment at the end, which is unlimited in timing. So before we move forward with the consent agenda, are there any items that any member would wish to remove from the consent agenda and discuss individually? Okay, let me turn. Here, you want to turn that back on? All right, at this time, we would need to move to item number 6, Mr. Clerk.
Yes, resolution in need of offer and support.
Offered
Approving
by-
all the, I'm sorry?
Yep, offered by Councilman Herrick, supported by Councilman Enos. Continue.
Herrick and Enos.
Yep.
Approving all the items on the consent agenda and requesting immediate effect.
All right, any questions or comments? Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Can we have the next item?
Item number 23, resolution by council members Abraham and Herrick approving the minutes of the previous special closed meeting of August 12th, 2025.
All right, thank you very much. Is there any additions, deletions, or modifications to these minutes? All right, any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 24, resolution by council members Enos and Herrick approving the minutes of the previous regular meeting of August 12th, 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to these minutes? Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 25, ordinance on the table, ordinance number 25-1851, an ordinance to amend section 9.02 of ordinance number 06-1111 of the city of Dearborn by rezoning the property located at 16030 Michigan Avenue from an OS business office to a BA local business zoning classification. Resolution by council members Paris and Enos to take from the table for its final reading.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And the unanimous roll shall be attached to take from the table for its final reading. This is a rezoning request of 16030 Michigan Avenue, parcel 82, from OS, which is Office Business District, to BA Local Business District. The current uses are primarily limited to administrative and professional offices, the way it sits right now. The rezoning and the property would permit a greater variety of uses to help purpose and revitalize the existing vacant structure and serve as the needs of the adjacent residential neighborhood as well. The proposed rezoning is consistent with the parcel's future land use, designated as a mixed-use center and a shopfront. The Planning Commission recommended approval of this request on July 7th of 2025 in their meeting, and the Planning and Zoning Division also recommends approval as well. This is the second and final reading of this ordinance. Any questions or comments? Okay, we do appreciate this. I know it's been a continuous rezoning of some of our very vast office spaces to make things more attractable for the future, and I know that we're getting there mix by mix, and I know people are returning to offices, but this is a good way to keep the buildings repurposed and getting back to bringing some life into them. Mr. Clerk, can we have the final reading, please?
This is the final reading of ordinance number 25-1851, an ordinance to amend section 9.02 of ordinances number 061111 of the city of Dearborn by rezoning the property located at 16030 Michigan Avenue from an OS to a BA zoning classification.
All right, Mr. Clerk, can we have our roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Al-Sawafi.
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
7 yeas, the ordinance passes.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next item.
Item 26, ordinance on the table, ordinance number 25-1852, an ordinance to amend the occupancy and building standards chapter, chapter 11 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn to remove existing regulations for non-owner occupied rentals from the current location in the Code of Ordinances with a delayed effective date of January 1, 2026. Resolution by council members Paris and Herrick to take from the table for its final reading.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And a unanimous roll shall be attached to take from its table for the final reading. This proposed amendment removes existing regulations of non-owner occupied rentals from their current location in Chapter 11 of the Code of Ordinance. The same regulations are being relocated to the new article, Chapter 11, as the council's recent adoption of the short-term rental regulations that go into effect of January of 1st of 2026. This is a cleanup ordinance, and this is the second and final reading of this ordinance. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have its final reading?
This is the final reading of ordinance number 25-1852, an ordinance to amend the occupancy and building standards chapter, chapter 11 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn to remove existing regulations for non-owner occupied rentals from the current location in the Code of Ordinances with a delayed effective date of January 1, 2026.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Yes.
7 yeas, the ordinance passes.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next item.
Item 27, ordinance on the table, ordinance number 25-1853, and an ordinance to amend the traffic and motor vehicles chapter, chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending section 18-364.1 to allow enforcement by economic development inspectors. Resolution by council members Herrick and Enos to take from the table for its final reading.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Unanimous roll shall be attached to take from the table for its final reading. The Vehicle Tarping Ordinance, 18-136.1, prohibits parking tarp vehicles in the city subject to limited exceptions. Under a separate ordinance of Section 19-147, only the police department is authorized to enforce the provisions under Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances where the Vehicle Tarping Ordinance is currently located. The proposed amendment authorizes the Economic Development Department to enforce these vehicle tarping ordinances, which will allow inspectors that are better equipped to address this issue. This is the second and final reading of this ordinance. Any questions or comments on it? Okay, can we have a roll call vote, please, Mr. Clerk? Final reading.
Yes. This is the final reading of ordinance number 25-1853, an ordinance to amend the traffic and motor vehicles chapter, chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending section 18-364.1 to allow enforcement by economic development inspectors.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Now we can have the roll call vote.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
7 yeas, the ordinance passes.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next item.
Item 28, ordinance number 25-1854, introduced by Council President Sereni. Synopsis, an ordinance to amend the occupancy and building standards, Chapter 11 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by adding Section 11-125 entitled Residential Concrete Driveway Reinforcement. Resolution by Council members Hamud and Paris to table the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. So the proposed residential concrete driveway reinforcement in Section 11-125 requires all concrete driveways at least 4 inches in depth to include a 6x6 welded wire mesh reinforcement. Equivalent alternatives may be reviewed and approved by the city building official. This requirement will apply to all new driveway installations and any section replacements made after the ordinance takes effect. This is the first of 2 readings. Any questions or concerns? All right, this is something I brought forward, my experience with just seeing some of the houses, residential homes being built in the city of Dearborn. And we had many that were using the very minimum building codes, which does not require you to put any wire mesh under the cement. And what that does, folks, if you ever see your driveway sliding sideways and up and down, that's because it doesn't have that wire mesh. Many cities in our surrounding area do require this, very minimal cost, and we thought this was, my colleagues supported this with me, as a very cost-effective, minimal measure that we should have as a standard in the city of Dearborn when you're replacing cement, and it will actually save a tremendous amount of money and longevity for the residents. So I'm very pleased we brought this forward. Mr. Clerk, that was, any other questions from my colleagues? All right, and we had the first reading?
I'll read the first
First reading, Mr. Clerk, yep.
This is the first reading of ordinance number 25-1854, an ordinance to amend the occupancy and building standards chapter 11 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by adding section 11-125 entitled Residential Concrete Driveway Reinforcement.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Any questions or comments? Okay, unanimous roll should be attached. Next item.
Item 29, ordinance number 25-1855, introduced by Councilmember Enos. Synopsis, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 4.00 entitled Off-Street Parking and Loading Requirements. Resolution by Councilmembers Hamud and Abraham to table the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. In response to emerging development trends, modern planning and standards of sustainability in communities, and the recurring challenges regarding building multifamily housing, the staff has proposed an amendment to the Dearborn zoning language. Multifamily residential development has been limited in the city, and those that have moved forward often require many parking adjustments in our zoning code. The city is recommending a targeted ordinance that will change and address off-street parking standards. The proposed change will eliminate the additional guest requirement, which previously mandated an additional 20% of total parking. This will better be served through a special land use process. This ordinance also proposes reducing parking minimums from multi-standard housing for one-bedroom units. The requirement would be lowered from 1.5 spaces to 1 space, and 2 bedrooms or larger from 2 spaces to 1.5 spaces per unit. At a public hearing held on August 11th, the Planning Commission voted on a motion to recommend approval of these changes, and the motion ultimately failed, receiving no votes at that time. It is a recommendation from our building division and our property division and the council to move forward with at this time. Any questions or comments on this? Councilwoman Herrick.
Could I just ask for clarification on some of our backup material? There's a chart there, and I just want to be sure that I'm understanding what was read and what's in the chart. The chart is the current numbers, or it's the old numbers? Because it says, for example, 2 bedrooms, 2 spots. That's the old number?
Good evening, Council. Kaylee Bianchini, Planning and Zoning Manager. So just to understand, Councilman Herrick, are you referring to, in the memo itself, the body of the memo, that table?
Yeah, it says table 1, and then 2 bedrooms, 2 spots. And from what was just read, that's not the right number, is it?
This is the existing parking requirement. And so then what you see in those rows below is a summary of the research based on how other communities regulate it.
Okay, so most common is 2 bedrooms, 2 spots, according to
Would be,
the
yes, the mode most common, yes.
And what we're looking at here is 2 bedrooms, 1.5 spots. So what was any discussion or any information that you can provide regarding the potential impact on parking, especially like in East Dearborn, where we have a lot more cars on the streets and multi-family units that are close together? Is there information that kind of projects how this might impact those neighborhoods?
Yeah, so, I mean, the biggest thing is actually multiple family units are not allowed in many very areas of the city. So multiple family housing is actually only allowed in our RC, RD, and RE multiple family districts, as well as our commercial zoning districts, all subject to special land use and site plan approval. So a lot of the areas of the city, I know very well what you're talking about, and some of the east side, it's a little more cramped on how the roads were platted, but a lot of those areas actually aren't available or permissible to have multiple family development. So it really wouldn't impact a lot of those areas.
So the existing is existing non-conforming if they have like 2 flats or 4 flats in an existing building in a neighborhood?
Yeah, so for the most part, there are some non-conforming multiple family units, specifically on the east side. That's correct.
But there's not likely to be additional built because they're already built up there, and we're talking about different districts then.
Correct. This would really be targeting, once again, new construction, new development. As we discussed at the mayor's briefing last week, sorry, time flies, last week, this is really about targeting multiple family development that we're seeing as a mixed-use development. And so really in our commercial zoning districts where we're seeing a lot more of this development, this is really targeted to address this issue.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear on that because I think that I respect the Planning Commission and the commissioners and that they had concerns. So I don't know how in-depth their discussion was on that, but I just wanted to hear it again for myself and for clarification for anybody that might be listening. So thank you.
Understood, yes.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else have any questions or comments on this? All right, so this is the first reading. Mr. Clerk, can we have the first reading?
Yes, this is the first reading of ordinance number 25-1850.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Yep, no, step forward. I apologize. I didn't see you there.
Hi, I'm Nancy Harmon. I live at 22278 Morley Avenue, and I'm just coming to this as Nancy Harmon, none of my other hats. I was at the Planning Commission, and the concern that I brought up forward was my son had an apartment at Fairlane Meadows on Mercury Drive, and they all had parking spots. So when I came to visit, I had to go to another spot, to visit. And if somebody parked in his spot because they didn't have a spot, he didn't get angry, but people got angry. So when you purchase something, you expect to have a parking spot. And I'm just saying that this could create issues that we don't need. Anger of where you're parking. Just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Ms. Harmon. Appreciate that. All right, any other questions or comments?
I have one more comment.
Councilman Abraham.
Just to address that, maybe. First of all, the RC, RD, and RE are our highest density residential districts. Just to be clear for everybody out there, that doesn't include our general neighborhoods and our single-family residential. But some of the responsibility is on the developer. The one thing that the zoning requirements do is generally create a minimum standard.
That's right.
And I agree with you. No one wants to live in a place where there's no parking for their friends and family to visit. But that all plays into the decisions of, capitalism. Do I want to buy that unit and there's no visitor parking? Or do I want to buy from a developer down the street that maybe provides additional parking amenities? Those are some of the decisions that developers have to make. Building huge parking lots. You have one right behind you, I think, at Morley Manor that abuts a huge parking lot at Ford Field. That's sort of what we're trying to avoid, where you just have this desert of parking that just sits there that doesn't really get utilized like it could be, so that we can create higher density housing. The mayor already mentioned all the valuable effects of having more housing in Dearborn and trying to keep property values affordable. This is just one small component of that. I personally believe in, having visitor parking and family parking available for developments, but at the same time, we have to attract developers here and get the housing in the first place. So thank you for your comments.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other questions or comments? All right, Mr. Clerk, can we have the first reading?
This is the first reading of ordinance number 25-1855, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the city of Dearborn by amending Article 4.00 entitled Off-Street Parking and Loading Requirements.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Any other questions? Okay, unanimous roll should be attached. Next item.
Item 30, ordinance number 25-1856, introduced by Councilmember Herrick. Synopsis, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the city of Dearborn by amending Article 15.00 entitled BB Community Business District with a delayed effective date of January 1, 2026. Resolution by Councilmembers Hamud and Enos to table the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. So the short-term rental, or STR ordinance, includes two components, amendments to both zoning and our code of ordinance. The goal is to expand the range of eligibility to STR properties while preserving the core principle of protecting single-family neighborhoods and our housing stock from this use. In August, the staff presented a zoning amendment of the plan to the Planning Commission to allow STRs in the city's commercial districts, specifically BA, which is local business district, BB, community business, and BC, general business. The commission recommended approval with the condition that the STRs be excluded from the BA district due to its close proximity to single-family homes, which is the goal of the council as well. This amendment broadens the STR opportunities to in appropriate commercial zoning while continue to uphold the priority of a buffer for a single-family home areas and short-term rental activity. This is the first of two readings. Any questions or comments on this item? All right, Mr. Clerk, can we have the first reading?
This is the first reading of ordinance number 25-1856, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the city of Dearborn by amending Article 15.00 entitled BB Community Business District with a delayed effective date of January 1, 2026.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. And unanimous vote shall be attached. Next item.
Item 31, ordinance number 25-1857, introduced by Councilmember Hamud. Synopsis, an ordinance to amend the Traffic and Motor Vehicle Chapter, Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Section 18-320 entitled School Buses Overtaking, Meeting, or Passing. Resolution by Councilmembers Paris and Abraham to table the ordinance.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. An amendment on Section 18-320, which governs traffic violations near an active school bus, is being proposed to bring us our local law in alliance with the recent updates to the Michigan law under MCL 257.682. The primary goal of this amendment is to enhance student safety by enabling camera-based enforcement for drivers who fail to stop at school buses. The proposed amendment would authorize the use of cameras mounted on the school buses to capture violations. It will allow citations to be mailed directly to the offenders and establish a system of escalating fines from $250 for the first offense, $500 for repeat offenders. These updates are designed to reflect state-level changes and allow for the city to enforce school bus-related traffic violations through our modern technology. If approved by the City Council, the city will enter into an agreement with the Dearborn Public School District to manage and review the approval process for recording these violations. This is the first of two readings. Any questions or comments on this one? All right, this is a great use of technology, and as we had in our briefing session, approximately 3 or 4 buses get passed by when they're not supposed to, where kids are entering in the school bus. So this is very much needed. I'm glad the state brought it forward, and now we're just amending it as well for our school district that we can partner with them. Any other questions or comments? All right, this is the first of two readings. Mr. Clerk, can we have the first reading?
This is the first reading of ordinance number 25-1857, an ordinance to amend the Traffic and Motor Vehicles Chapter, Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Section 18-320 entitled School Buses Overtaking, Meeting, or Passing.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next item.
Item number 32, ordinance number 25-1858, introduced by Councilmember Enos. Synopsis, an ordinance to amend the Offenses Chapter, Chapter 14 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by adding Section 14-44.1 entitled Lift Assist and Non-Emergency Cost Recovery. Resolution by Councilmembers Herrick and Hamud to table the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. In recent years, the Dearborn Fire Department and EMS have experienced a growing number of non-emergency calls originated from assisted living facilities, independent care centers, and nursing homes in which most advertise that they provide this specific service. Many facilities call the city for non-emergencies like lift assistance, diverting resources from current emergencies through the city. To address this, the cost recovery ordinance is proposed so that the city can recoup the costs for these such calls following the examples set by other cities as well. Under this ordinance, the city will impose a $1,000 per non-emergency run, such as a lift assist fine. This fee could be adjusted in the future by the council, reflecting changes in our costs. The fire department would be required to maintain detailed records of these non-emergency responses and clear criteria that would be established when the fees are assessed. Chief, if you'd like to come forward. The facilities will be given a 60-day notice of the fine, and they will have a limited appeal process as well. This is the first of 2 readings, but Chief, I'd like you just to speak a little bit on this. I know we went over it before. Chief?
Sure, Council President, thank you. So over the last decade, we've seen a considerable rise in the amount of calls that we are responding to assisted living facilities, nursing homes as well. One facility right next to Station 1, we've went from about 200 calls a year when I first started as chief to just about 1,000 calls now.
1,000 calls?
Yes. So many of these assisted living facilities used to have private ambulance companies. There's a statewide shortage of paramedics. But all these facilities are required legally to have enough staff present within their facility to assist with these non-emergent and things like lift assist. The problem is they're not staffing appropriately, so they're calling 911 to assist with that. And obviously, we're always happy to help, but we're also there very frequently, and it's taken the resources away from other members of the community as well for other more emergent matters. So a number of cities have already implemented this ordinance, a similar ordinance with some success, and we're hoping that with this ordinance we can either work with our partners in these facilities to try to staff up so they don't need fire department services as much for non-emergent means, or at least recoup our costs for doing that. And like I said, these are just targeted at facilities that have a legal requirement to have appropriate medical staff on scene to take care of these issues.
Thank you, Chief. I know that this was, the council had talked about this for a while, and we spoke several times regarding this on the phone because, as you indicated, from going from 200 to 1,000 calls, and more importantly, these services are being told to the resident that they are provided with the service of the housing, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
So that's the concern. And I did speak with you just to, for the residents about could we bill directly their services, and you could speak on this, they're non-billable services, is that correct?
Yes.
I'm talking about to their insurance companies.
Yes, yeah. Many times, lift assist non-emergent calls are not recoupable by either Medicare or Medicaid. We've had Medicaid claims rejected in the past because they've deemed them non-emergent. So what this ordinance does is it bills the facility itself and not the patient. So because the
Correct.
Facility has a responsibility to have the staff.
Right. So for just a plain example, someone needs assistance to be lifted and put into a bed. A facility that's supposed to do that calls our 911. We send our 911 run out there with our people and then they assist them by moving. And the runs have went from 200 calls to 1,000. And that's taking our firemen off other emergent runs for our residents inside that are expecting those services to happen.
Yes, that's true. And just for clarification, that when I say 1,000 runs, not all of those are non-emergent. So we transported 500 out of nine or
Right.
almost 1,000 calls.
But this is a problem throughout the region because there's been ordinances being passed regarding this.
Yes, I mean, there's a nationwide shortage of medical personnel, nurses, paramedics, and that's all playing into this, is they can't staff up enough. And then there's also a shortage of paramedics, I mean, statewide. So Henry, one location next to us used to have a private ambulance company that was in the parking lot all the time for these types of non-emergent transports, abnormal labs and things like that. They don't have that luxury anymore because there's just such a shortage out there, and there's not as many nurses working in the facilities as well anymore.
Right. I just wanted to make sure we clarified it. So, I mean, we want to make sure that the responsibility is handled and the person's taken care of, but we do have to recoup the cost of that because that's the responsibility of the facility.
Absolutely.
All right, any other questions or comments? Councilman Hammoud.
Yeah, I want to make a quick comment since it's an election year and people are they're going to twist this right away. So let's make this super clear and easy for everyone to understand. The purpose of this law and resolution that we're passing here is to improve the services of residents by reducing the amount of calls hopefully, that we get from facilities that are that for-profit facilities that are subsidizing a lack of their staffing by using your tax dollars and your firefighters and your EMTs. So let's make it clear, we're not taking away any services from residents that are already normally provided. This is to stop companies from using your tax dollars instead of hiring their own staff. So when this all gets on Facebook and people come here yelling, I want this to be on the record. Thank you.
Way more elegant than I would have said, but, and I will mention to the council too, we have reached out to,
Yeah. Paid for by your tax dollars.
All right. Chief?
We have reached out to the facilities within our town multiple times throughout the years, and we just haven't seen any improvement with the staffing problems, so that's.
Yeah, I think it's been getting worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Councilman Abraham.
Just administratively, will this be billed through the billing system from the fire department software or through our finance department?
So we're currently working with our EMS biller to set up a program to do that. So we're currently logging all the calls, and we're working with them to see how we're going to set that up. But other communities have used their contracted EMS billers as well. So we think that's probably the easiest way for us to do it.
So I noticed in the documentation, they have 60 days to pay. I think just working through our typical city invoicing, delinquencies generally end up on the tax rolls if they're not paid. Is that the intent with this as well?
Yeah, it's my understanding they're be a lien on the property.
I definitely would like to make sure administratively that anything that gets billed, even through the billing service, doesn't just get written off.
Yep.
Or go delinquent, that it follows that normal process to get on the tax rolls as a delinquent bill.
Absolutely. We'll be collaborating with the finance department and our billing company to.
Excellent, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilman Paris.
Thank you, Council President. A question that I'd like to ask, though, just to clarify this too. We had this this last week at the Committee of the Whole, or the mayor's briefing. The backup material indicates, and our discussion was that there are other communities doing this, and as we discussed tonight, I think it's Sterling Heights and Westland that are two of them. But how are we determining that $1,000 cost? Because we've had discussions before, we don't want something punitive, but something that's going to cover our cost of responding somewhere, or a service that we're providing. That is the cost that we are looking to recoup. So, I mean, is the $1,000 in line with elsewhere?
Yeah, so we had our data analyst, she also an accountant. She broke down our cost per call. So our actual cost for a regular transport is about $1,300. We reduced it by the $300 because these typically don't take as long, but I mean, there is time spent with the patient, and then we also have to do a lot of report writing afterwards. So we reduced it to $1,000, but all our costs are baked into that formula. So, and we could provide that.
I appreciate that, because on the face of it, $1,000, wow, that's a lot of money. But there's a lot of other things to consider what you're doing, taking a rescue out of service, or a rescue and an engine that may respond depending on what the call came out as an emergency or otherwise. So, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other questions or comments, my colleagues? All right, Mr. Clerk, can we have the first reading?
This is the first reading of ordinance number 25-1858, an ordinance to amend the offenses chapter 14 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by adding section 14-44.1 entitled Lift, Assist, and Non-Emergency Cost Recovery.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next item.
Item number 33, ordinance number 25-1859, introduced by Councilmember Herrick. Synopsis: an ordinance to amend the Traffic and Motor Vehicle Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 3, Division 2, entitled Regulation of Class 2 Parking Lots. Resolution by Council Members Hamud and Enos to table the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The proposed revision updates to the city's ordinance regulating Class 2 parking lots to better align with our current state and local engineering standards, as well as paving requirements outlined in the city zoning ordinance. The existing ordinance, which has last been amended in 2007, includes outdated provisions that now conflict with modern standards. Today, Class 2 lots are not required to install drainage facilities if they have access to a public alley containing a drain or catch basin. If no such access exists, then the ordinance mandates installation of a catch basin connected to a city sewer system. Furthermore, the parking lots located in industrial zones are not required to pave and may instead can use compacted gravel or slag-bound material. The proposed amendments would remove these exemptions that allow the use to access into the alley. These updates are being recommended to ensure that the city's regulations are fully consistent and current with engineering practices and zoning standards, ultimately promoting better stormwater management, improving lot conditions, and long-term sustainability. This is the first of 2 readings. Any questions or comments on this item? All right, Mr. Clerk, can I have the first reading?
This is the first reading of ordinance number 25-1859, an ordinance to amend the Traffic and Motor Vehicle Chapter, Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 3, Division 2, entitled Regulation of Class 2 Parking Lots.
Mr. Clerk, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next item.
Item 34, resolution by council members Herrick and Paris awarding a sole source contract to Eurotech USA, Inc. in the amount of $49,990 for the purchase of polymer joint sealant for the Water and Sewerage Division and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Eurotech Poly Sealant is a proprietary product currently used at several city locations to address underwater infiltration. It is injected between the original brick sewer and the liner and has been proven to be effective in stopping leaks as it's intended. The Dearborn sewer system has a few areas with persistent inflow and infiltration issues. The product has been used as to the bulkhead on CSO2 at Dearborn Hills and to seal stormwater line running between Rotunda and the CSO facility on 2701 Greenfield Road. The project aims to reduce continuous infiltration, which over time will help lower city's annual sewer costs from Great Lakes Water Authority. Purchasing on behalf of the Dearborn Public Works and Water Sewer Division recommends a sole source purchase to Eurotech USA Incorporated in the amount of $49,990, and immediate effect is being requested. Any questions or comments on this? All right, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 35, resolution by council members Herrick and Paris awarding a contract to Sinclair Recreation in the amount of $250,000 for the renovation of Argyle Williamson Park and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. As the park and recreation efforts continue to be enhanced, recreational spaces throughout the city, Argyle Williamson Playground will be fully renovated. The updated playground, there we go, picture on the screen. The updated playground will include a brand-new play skate structure designed to accommodate ranges of ages and abilities, a new bank of swing sets, a pour-in-place safety surfacing, which has been tremendous. The surface has been a tremendous idea. The RFP evaluation team on behalf of the Parks and Recreation Department recommends awarding a contract to Sinclair Recreation for the renovation of the Argyle Williamson Park. This will be a one-time purchase in the amount of $250,000. Construction is expected to begin in October and anticipated to be completed by the end of the year, barring any weather conditions. An immediate effect is being requested. Any questions or comments on this? All right. Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 36, resolution by council members Herrick and Hamud authorizing the Historical Museum to obtain a special event permit for the Museum Guild of Dearborn to hold its 12th annual Fall Festival fundraiser on October 10th, 2025 from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. and October 11th, 2025 from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. with assistance from the Police Department, DPW, and Parks and Recreation, also granting exclusive use of the Commandant's quarters in adjoining city-owned parking lot, a noise waiver for the duration of the event, and waiving any city fees associated with the event and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The Museum Guild of Dearborn will host its 12th annual Fall Festival fundraiser on October 10th and October 11th. The event will take place at the Commandant's quarters and is adjacent to a city-owned parking lot. And since 2013, the Guild's Fall Festival has generated an average net revenue of approximately $7,400 annually. The Guild is a registered 501c3 nonprofit and plans to fund this year's event through its own resources and sponsorships. The goal is to raise approximately $5,000 from local businesses. The Guild is requesting from the Dearborn Police Department for beat patrol spot checks and 50 steel barricade fences. Recreation and Parks will provide tables, chairs, microphones, and sound equipment and trash receptacles. The Guild will also secure a one-day liquor permit and carry liquor liability insurance for the beer tasting portion of this event. All expenses will be covered by the Guild and its sponsors, and immediate effect is being requested. Any questions or comments on this very successful event? All right. Unanimous roll should be attached. Next item.
Item 37, resolution by council members Hamud and Enos concurring in the appointment of Hassan Abdullah to the Board of Ethics with a term ending June 30th, 2028, and requesting immediate effect.
Again, we'd like to thank all of our commissioners that volunteer their time to give their service to these commissions and boards. This appointment of Hassan Abdullah to the Board of Ethics for a 3-year term will end on June 30th, 2028. The mayor may appoint 5 persons on this Board of Ethics subject to the council approval. Any questions or comments? Okay, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 38, resolution by council members Al Sawafi and Herrick concurring in the appointment of Alice Argnian to the Senior Citizens Commission with a term ending June 30th, 2028, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And this is an appointment to Alice Argnian to the Senior Citizens Commission for a 3-year term that will be ending June 30th, 2028. Any questions or comments on this item? Okay, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
No other items on tonight's agenda.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. For the council, anything from my colleagues? Councilman Herrick.
Thank you, Council President. I wanted to commend the Recreation Department and all who worked on the Music Under the Stars, the reintroduction of our concert series, Music Under the Stars. Last Friday night, the Dearborn Symphony played at Peace Park West, and it was absolutely breathtaking. The candlelight, the music, the lighting of the park itself, and the structure of Peace Park West, it was absolutely beautiful. And if you haven't seen any of the videos, just watch your social media for it to pop up, because the administration's been doing a terrific job promoting the past concert, but the next concert as well. Coming up on September 20th, the National Arab Orchestra will be playing, and that will be a special treat as well. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Just want to shout out community relations. Park, it's happening at a park, but community relations doing the planning.
Oh, thank you.
So shout out to the people
You gotta
who
give the
put
credit where it's
batteries
supposed
into
to go.
1,000 candles. That was no easy task. Batteries and 1,000 candles was not easy to do.
That is definitely not
And
easy.
they put them all out, and then they had to put them away. I was on the put away
Yes.
crew, by the way. I did help, I did
That's
stay to
nice,
help.
that's nice.
With the candles afterwards. But they were beautiful, and I'm sure that it's gonna look great the next time they use them, so maybe I'll show up early to help set them up on the 20th. Next, I wanted to talk, and the mayor's probably going to talk about this too, but the neighborhood block party on the north side of the city is this Saturday, Tarping and Miller. And this is the 4th year that we're doing this, I think, and it's just a really wonderful celebration of Dearborn and Detroit coming together in the aviation subdivision, having a block party with family-friendly activities, bounce house, free food while it lasts, music, and community tables where you can get information. Usually our library participates, the Historical Museum participates. I know Rotary is going to be out there this year, along with a lot of other nonprofit organizations in the county. And everybody's welcome. You don't have to live in that neighborhood to go and share in the celebration of the Dearborn Detroit Block Party. So that's this Saturday from noon till 3 p.m. At Tarping and Miller. And so I just wanted to share that. Thanks, I'm looking forward to it again.
Thank you, Councilman Herrick. Anyone else from my colleagues? All right, Mayor? Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Councilman Enos.
Just got a text from Silvio here. Smoke on the Grill is this Saturday.
Oh.
From 4 to
Yeah.
8.
That sounds about right.
Adult tickets are $35. Children's tickets are $10. There's a band, Sunglasses After Dark.
There you
Bring
go.
the kids, it's gonna be a great time it's for the good fellows. And there's furnace tickets still available, so.
Thank you, Councilman Enos. That is a great event. It's always very popular, so. Anything else for my colleagues? All right. Councilman Hammoud?
Anyone mentioned the museum walking tour?
Go ahead. Are you on?
There's the museum walking tour is on Saturday.
Councilman.
10 a.m. Is it all? Oh.
Go ahead.
I was saying the museum walking tours on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11 in the Warren Avenue district. So I haven't had a chance, but I plan on attending that one hopefully because I am really excited because I know you guys have been doing these throughout the summer, but I've been quite busy getting married and stuff. So hopefully I'll make this one.
How long are you going to use that?
Hey, I'm having fun. The mayor made fun of me. He goes, "This guy's still in his honeymoon phase." I'm like,
I'm still in my
sorry.
honeymoon phase, 3 kids in.
Yeah, aw.
Yeah.
That's cool. I heard it lasts until you have your first kid, no? So, anyway, so I look forward to seeing you there.
All right, thank you.
Oh,
Jack Tate.
I think he wanted to say something.
Jack, go ahead. You can stay from there if you can.
Okay, the walking tours, this is our 4th year of doing these.
Oh.
We get tremendous participation in them, especially the new one we have this year on the Rouge River.
Excellent.
I think Issa Shaheen is going to that one.
That's right.
Yeah.
We'll send the fire department up there to make sure.
All right, Mayor.
Shaheen doesn't fall in the
Thank you, Jack Tate. Mayor.
I think your council covered all the events. I think the
Yeah,
only one
we
left
usually do.
is Dearborn Coffee Week kicks off September
you go.
26th
There's
to
one.
October 3rd. If you don't know, there's been a few coffee shops that have opened up in the city of Dearborn.
Cool
in
beans.
fact, you got a magazine that's gonna hit your mailboxes, which will have a full coffee shop capital map, mapping out every non-corporate owned coffee shop in the
No
city
fried
of Dearborn. Excited to have that. And lastly, just the mayor's neighborhood walks. I still do neighborhood walks in this weather. It's a beautiful time to walk right now. It's much easier than when we had the humid summer days. If you want to know when we'll be in the neighborhood, in your neighborhood, just go to dearborn.gov, search mayor's neighborhood walks, and the whole list will come up. So you can join us. Only requirement is if you're going to stop us, you don't stop us for too long, as we have to walk. We pick up litter, pick up garbage, identify micro issues, and hopefully improve the beautification efforts in your neighborhood while you're with us. That's all.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Clerk, from your department.
Yes, just quickly, the ballots will be sent out on September 20th to military personnel via mail and via email. And then the ballots will be available at our counter and being sent out on September 25th because we have an election in November.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Clerk. At this time, the next portion is our public comment. Anyone here to address the council regarding city business, please step forward or state your name and address for a record, or you can fill out a comment card. Sir? Yes. Just a kind reminder, sir, name and address for the record, and there's a 3-minute limitation, and our clerk will let you know when there's 30 seconds remaining.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you for all the public servants here. You guys really do cover a lot of important but not that exciting business. So I thank you all for taking care of that.
That is true.
So a couple
Just
of
your
things.
name, sir. Your name.
Ruben Carreri, 3317 Dallas Street. Couple of things. About 4 to 10 weeks ago, time flies, I came talking about some ordinance enforcement concerns. And it seems like the city did some bare minimum with resolving it. And, so I look at this handy-dandy property maintenance guide here, and, when I go through and I can highlight like 12, 13 things that people just on both sides of me are doing, that goes against that. And I've probably called 10 times, and I emailed, and I talked with a lot of people, and then I ended up showing up here and talking about it. And it just not much got resolved there. And it's a rental property. That moves into my next point. I understand that rental properties are inspected every 3 years in the city. So I went onto the website to look up that latest inspection report, and I can't find it. So even better, I go to the rental property page. I mean, the website's coming along, but there's still a lot of glitches I see. It's in the last year, it's gotten a lot better, but I know we've changed it. It's been changed. But like when I go to rental property locator, oh, sorry, this page can't be reached. So there's still glitches in communications and stuff like that with the website. I don't know if, what is it, 611?
311.
311. I've called, maybe I called 611. I'll try it again. I think I tried it for my cell phone. It didn't work. Maybe I dialed it wrong, so
Yeah.
we'll look at that again.
That is working.
Oh, it is working? Okay,
Yes.
good.
I'll just point you, Jordan, can you raise your hand? So give him the code enforcement address. And then Katie, I saw her make a note about a broken link on the website, so she'll have that fixed.
Much appreciated. Another couple of things I'm looking at is some of the city property has a lot of trash on it, particularly the Ford Community and Performing Arts Center. I'm a member there. I bought my annual membership, and when I go out on the front walks out front, it's a beautiful facility, but under those trees, the pine trees out front, there's just piles of trash out there. And I noticed that maybe 5 months ago, and I just drove by before I came here, and I noticed there's still trash under all the pine trees out front. And so it's such a beautiful facility, but there is a lot of trash.
So we actually just cleared it out. We had a community service group come through in the last 2 weeks, but what you're finding is all the trash blowing in off of Michigan Avenue and Greenfield, blowing right into those trees, which actually back up to the parking lot of the, so I did a walk with the seniors around that track. I identified the garbage in those trees, and then that following week, community service came out and cleaned it out.
Yeah,
And so something we have to do frequently.
Just over there, like at
Yeah.
6:45, and it's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
So, but then, so I notice a lot of people don't use their trash properly. I know there's requirements, put trash in bags, put recycling only in the recycling bin. I know that's not happening. And it makes sense that on trash day, if you don't use trash bags, of course there's going to be trash blowing all over the
You
place.
have 30 seconds.
Thank you. Michigan and Greenfield, this might be a county thing, but I noticed when you're driving south on Greenfield, the sign for US 12 is actually the diamond symbol, which is the state of Michigan highway, not US 12 like it is. So this, and I don't know how long that's been like that. And then the only last thing is that I was out on my neighborhood on a hot Friday night, maybe a few weeks ago, about 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I said, I'm going to go for a walk. I love walking around. And just the number of things I saw, their cars just gunning it, racing through. I live in the Snowwoods neighborhood. Going down Snow Street, seeing cars, music just cranked up so loud, running stop signs, headlights out. And I went probably for a 3-mile walk, and I didn't see one police officer. And so I feel like overall, I feel like the city's taking a reactive approach to things where a lot of things could be handled with a proactive approach and could do a lot better and keep things looking better. And
So your time has expired.
right at the end.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Well, thank you. I don't
Thank
know,
you.
Mayor, if you want to address anything, but I can tell you, sir, we are not taking a reactive approach. I can say that very clearly. A reactive approach would not install speed humps, flashing stop signs, humps, have a street. No, I want to tell you, this council supported our initiative to have a clean streets crew. We have a dedicated crew to, no matter if it's in the county, state line, Warren Avenue, that their sole purpose is to clean up blight and trash no matter where it's at. We are doing, we're not waiting for the calls, we're trying to do it. And there is an educational component that I know that I've talked to the mayor about many times that we need to enforce as well, because we are having those concerns, and we want to make sure that the city looks good and that people follow the rules. And we're, could we do better? Absolutely. Is there more to do? Without question. But I wouldn't say it's a reactive. There is a proactive approach. Those in the neighborhood police officers in the neighborhood. Now, because you went for a 3-mile walk, I don't know how fast you walk, and you didn't see a police officer. I know, but I want to be honest, okay?
Go ahead.
We allocate $53 million to the police department. We have the highest number of staffing than we've had in over 20 years. That's not a reactive approach. So I just want to be honest with you. Your concerns are taken. I know you're a longtime resident, so I'm not dismissive of any of it, but I just want you to look at it in the bigger picture. Reactive is different than proactive. You wouldn't have neighborhood police officers brought back over 20, 30 years ago. They didn't exist. Or have the staffing level that we have at the police department that we have today. So we are trying to do the best. And like I said, could we do better? Absolutely. And we're not stopping. These speed humps, we have people, Mayor, I don't want to speak for you, but every week we get requests for people. They want them everywhere. They want them everywhere. So it is working. It is slowing people down. The traffic is getting better. we're trying to do best we can. So,
And I appreciate that, and
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for, what is done. It's just, especially those speed bumps, they work at 25, and they're great at 25, but if you go any over, you don't go over 25, but so they work at the speed limit, it's great, but a lot of the things that, just the feeling is about people in my neighborhood who've lived there much longer than I've been alive, is what's happening in my neighborhood. It's really, this isn't the city that we know and charges us for living in, so.
no, without question. I can tell you, there's a saying about your neighbors. I mean, nothing's more important than your neighbors in your neighborhood, and that's why we took a proactive approach regarding Airbnbs and verbal and those rental homes. So, I'm sure you've seen that in the news.
I was here when you guys.
Oh, you were here?
talked about
Even
that.
better.
Oh, yeah.
So we are doing some of those things that are leading. And like I said, there is a great component. I'll be honest with you. When I was a kid, we lived on Oakman, and I used to, I didn't even know what the trash day was. I just waited for the neighbor, because when he pulled it out, I knew it was time to pull my stuff out. So there is, that component of your neighbors, letting your neighbors know that you need to bag the trash. And I'm not saying it's your responsibility, but there is a lot of neighborhoods that, they do share those sentiments to their neighbors to help get them on the right track. Some people, believe it or not, do not know that, and I know it's egregious. I cut my stuff up all over the place. The recycling. So and I worked hard, and the council did on a term or two back. I think you remember we used to have recycling once a week until we went to twice. So we got to work harder on it, and it is a concern. So we do appreciate you bringing it forward.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from my colleagues? Anyone else here to address the city council regarding city business? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion adjourned by Councilwoman Herrick. We are adjourned.